Now, our job as parents is to embarrass the hell out of her. So what do we have here, babe? What happened? Ah, staying warm. Their outdoor wood boiler. Revved. Well, it's getting to be that time of the year, and just a pull start in there isn't going to cut it. Where are we today? Digging into crankshaft seals, okay? Basically, this motor would run pretty good. It would smoke a lot. It would be hard to get started. Basically, the problem is somewhere right in here, you can't really tell, is probably dry rotted, and it's allowing air or oil or both to be sucked through that seal. And we have new seals that are going in there. Now we just have to get these old ones out of there. So there's a couple little tricks we can do. One of them, let me give it a shot here and see if this works. To find, I like using a screw, and I'm going to screw into the side of the old seal, and I'm going to see if I can pull it right out of there. Actually, I might be able to get in here with the hook before I even do that and see if I can hook and grab that and pull. If not, then I'm going to drill into the side of that. That's what the new seal looks like. So basically, if I catch the edge between the two and pull that, it should work. So we have these two seals, one on each side, and then the other seal here, the small one goes in that part. So simple enough to do. So let's get to it. My helper. So picked up these little hooks quite a while ago. I haven't had a chance to try them yet, but I think these may work pretty well on this. We can fit this in between here on the seal and get behind this and pull. So hopefully that'll enable me to get this on out of there. Let me try that. So I didn't have any luck with the pick. Another trick, we're gonna drill into the side of this with a good screw, and hopefully we can get a hammer on the hammer. Hopefully we can get a hammer on the back of this or a set of pliers and yank that and pull that seal out. Give that a whirl. So I have the screw into it.
This one.
Yeah, that one. You think that's going to be the one that'll do it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that can work now that I have the screw in there, possibly.
I'm going to get out.
No, okay, good. You're going to fix it? All right, well, he's fixing his own snowmobile, and he's just turned 3, so that's absolutely perfect. I love it. Now, I'm going to have to pry on this. Hopefully I can get a good yank on there and pop that seal right out of there. I may have to do a few holes, one on the other side. We'll see if we get lucky. So I had to pry pretty hard, but it's almost out of there. There we go. Let me grab that, you can see. So that was able to get right through the edge of that. Don't go too deep, you don't want to get into bearings or anything down below. But just through the seal, and you're able to grab it and pull. It works pretty well with these old metal ones. So now the new seal, put a little bit of oil on there, stick it back in, and find a socket that fits over the size of this, and drive it right home. Simple enough. I mean, that's not a bad little problem to fix this. The hardest part, I mean, it was a piece of cake to pull it apart.
One.
No? Yeah, pulling it apart, piece of cake. It's figuring out this part, putting the stupid seals in. Okay, so what we have here is the new seal going on here. Got a little bit wet, just so I can slide that in a little easier. I happen to have, what size is this thing? 15/16. Hang on, bud. Careful, careful. That's going to slip right over top of that. So 15/16 will go right over top of that.
Dad,
and then we'll drive that in. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I'll hit it with a hammer and tap it right into place.
Can I?
The key, just get it nice and flush, even with the lip across there. And now that's ready to get put back together.
Can I hold?
Do you want to film?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I
Okay, so what we're looking at here, in this old seal, hold on. In this old seal, if you look right here, it's kind of hard to tell, but this is worn flat. And if you look at the new seal, it's got a lip to it right here. It's kind of hard to tell if I can get the right angle, but there's an edge and a lip, and it's gone on the old seal. So this is where it was allowing oil and oil or air to come up and through there. Doesn't take much on these old dry seals.
It's almost in.
Almost. The key, you want to get it nice and flush. You're almost flush. Keep tapping, bud. Keep going. And you want to make sure when you're doing it, you're not tipping this one side or the other. You want to keep it nice and straight so it goes in even. Keep hitting it. Hit it pretty good. Give it a couple good whacks. Ah, my finger! You got me.
All done.
All good? Well, okay. We have to go a little bit more, but we're almost in. Man, you're doing real. Can't just try to line it up a little better? Right like that. Oh, man, that's almost perfect.
Ow! He got my finger.
Ah, you're a trip. What you doing there, bud? Put new crank seals in?
Pliers.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get that bigger ball off.
So just a little piece of information when you're putting this back together. If you want to see how these work, there's these little L-shaped pieces here, and there's a whole bunch of them, weights basically. And it's going to spin centrifugally. As this spins, those weights are going to fling outward, and as they go outward, they're going to push this piece this way as centrifugal force moves them out. So as that comes outward, it's going to hit on this little flange here, and that flange is going to adjust the governor for it and control the speed. It's going to, once that hits that, it's going to make the throttle drop back so it doesn't keep accelerating. So if you're curious how that goes back together, that's that. So if you're going to work on this side, you're going to need to get a puller. I have a 3-arm puller here. Be able to pull this off to get behind that to get to the crank seal on this side. Easy enough, but hard enough. Okay, so once I pull the flywheel and the stator off, you can see what we're looking at, and that is definitely the culprit there causing the problem. All that black goop is oil and gunk coming from the inside of the engine to here, which shouldn't be there. So if it's coming out, there's obviously air going back in. So that is probably the seal that caused our problem in the first place. So let's pull that one out, swap that out, put this back together, and she should be done. This is the way to do this one too. I pulled the cap off after screwing that in, prying, and you can see the little nick it made into it. And I was able to just take this, after pulling the cap off, that's all it looked like. And luckily it's just all rubber, so this just gets right in there to pull it apart. You could use anything, you don't need these fancy hooks. But now that one's out of there. And yeah, she's a little smoked. Let's see where is this thing here? You can see this little edge stuff there. I'm sure that's part of it. Take much. So one thing you want to be aware of when you're putting this back together is your timing. So I would not take this off, because if you adjust that, you're going to mess with your points. And you should check and make sure they're clean inside there. Take a look at that in a second. The other thing you want to make sure is you can see this slot has room for adjustment here, and that'll be your timing for forward and advance of where your spark is. So you want to make sure you go right back into the same lines of where your old marks were from this thing, or from these screws. So right there is where it was. Put her back together.